Hi everybody, it's Mandy. And I didn't say that in my first video, but that's what my name is, Mandy. Let's see here. Today was the first day that I went out in public with my hair and didn't hide anything, really. I didn't go out of my way to hide my hair, I'll just say it that way. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, okay, or haven't seen my previous video, which was my very first one, I have Trichotillomania, which is trich or trich or trick. Different people pronounce it different ways, so I call it trich for short. And oh, excuse me, I have an itch. I decided yesterday that I was going to start going out in public and not hide my hair and just go with it the way that it is. That one of the biggest things about trichotillomania is hiding the fact that you have bald spots, and to where you that becomes kind of like an obsession over it, is making sure people don't see your bald spots. So I decided that after seeing a video on YouTube of another young lady that has gone out and just has told all of her friends about it and just goes out in public like that, and I just thought that that was so freeing and liberating, but yet scary at the same time. So I started doing that today. Today was my first day going out. I had to go to a friend's house and give her, mind you, it was a friend that doesn't know that I do this, that I pull my hair out. She doesn't know. Okay, she wanted to borrow my carpet cleaner, so I had to bring my little carpet shampooer thing to her house. This is how I wore my hair today, okay, which I know it's not as major as how I wore it yesterday, where it was all that. I kind of chickened out a little bit, but I'll get braver as the days go on, I'm sure. Okay, so this is how I went today. The only thing you can really see is right in here, where I call a part, even though it's not a part, because nobody has a part there. A bald patch, basically, in the front. And took the carpet cleaner to her, and she didn't say anything, which was good. She didn't even give me a weird look or anything like that. And the reason why, for two reasons, I think. One is because of the fact that she's getting the carpet cleaner and she wanted to make sure she knew how to use it. So I think she was more focused on that than she was what I looked like. And two, she was being lazy that day and hadn't gotten a shower or anything like that, so probably she thought she looked like Mag the Hag, is what I call it. So she wasn't that concerned about my appearance. So one of those two things, I'm not sure. Then we went to go test drive my car, which was kind of part of this whole dropping the cleaner off at her house. Because my car needed a new radiator and stuff, and so we had to make sure everything was running good and everything. And we ended up having some kind of leak that we couldn't figure it out, so we had to take it to the mechanic. So the mechanic saw me like this, okay, which the mechanic has only met me once or twice. My husband normally takes the car down, and I never talk to him. So he didn't say anything either, but at the same time, he had the distraction of the car. So he was more focused on the car than he was me, which was good. So everything went good there, and then we went out to eat for dinner at the Chinese buffet place. Everything pretty much was okay. I had some weird looks. Well, just two. I had one weird look when we were going to our table and sitting down. Somebody looked at me strange, but then just kind of dismissed it. And then one of the times when I was getting up to the buffet, I think it was the second time I got up to go get some food, somebody looked at me weird too. So, other than that, everything was fine. The world didn't end by me showing my bald spot. So maybe tomorrow I'll get a little braver and show a little more skin. Okay, I'm just trying to be funny with it because it's really a nervous thing, okay? Okay, and then something that I thought was interesting about how I filmed yesterday, because there was so much I wanted to say. Some of the stuff I didn't even say, but I felt like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. What was weird is here I was telling you all this stuff. Complete nervous wreck while I was saying all this stuff to y'all. I have told a few of my friends that I pull my hair out, but it's normally my close friends, and I mean like close friends, that's it. If you're an acquaintance to me, you don't know I do this. If you're somebody that I consider a friend, but we really don't do too much stuff out, we don't like talk on a normal basis, we just go out every once in a while or something like that, then you don't know about this. I don't tell you that I pull my hair. I just don't want to do that. I did tell some people that I worked with one time about it, and that didn't go over too well. So they were just co-workers, not my boss or anything like that. I wouldn't do that. That'd be crazy. And stuff, and you know, there's been some people that take it okay. Other people think, oh, well, you're hurting yourself. It's like cutting yourself. And actually it's not, because I'm not hurting myself. It doesn't hurt to pull my hair out. So I don't take it the same way. Personally, I couldn't cut myself. That would just be weird. Well, not saying that the people that cut themselves are weird, but I don't know. To me, that's a totally different genre than pulling your hair out. It just isn't the same. I'm not hurting myself. I couldn't almost die from pulling out my hair. You know what I mean? Whereas cutting yourself, sometimes it can get serious and you could actually, you know, cut too deep and you have to go to the hospital. I don't ever have to go to the hospital from pulling my hair out. You know what I mean? Let's see here. I don't even know where I was going with all that. But that was one of the comments that I've gotten once about this, and you know, I had to basically educate her on, no, it's really not the same thing as that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, while I was filming the video, it was so hard for me to do that yesterday. In fact, I thought it was kind of funny. You would think, revealing all that stuff, I would have been pulling my hair like crazy, and actually I kind of feel like it right now too. That's how bad it is. I am sitting here talking to y'all, and the stuff I'm talking about is making me so anxious that I want to pull my hair out right now. Well, I actually had on my desk while I was filming, I don't know if y'all saw me grab something on my desk, probably not, but I do craft stuff a lot of times, and I had to do it on this table and the table behind me, and I had found some tape, my adhesive tape stuff that I apparently had torn off with some paper or something like that, and it was just sitting on my desk. So I grabbed it, and I've been twiddling with this tape stuff, and I found it again, and I'm doing it again. So yeah, so that helps me get through the video at least. But at the same time, it leaves like a sticky residue on this music, which isn't very good. Anyway, so for those people that craft, there's you another idea, something to fiddle with instead of pulling your hair, I guess. Anyway, even though it's so not the same thing, you know, that's the thing. Everybody tells you, well, keep your hands busy and all this stuff, but it's not the same. It's, you know, things like that I can only do for so long, and then I get frustrated because I'm not pulling my hair. It frustrates me, and I want to pull. Anyway, this isn't really what I wanted to talk about. Really what I wanted to talk about is I needed to give a little more background about what has caused me to pull when I started pulling and all that stuff. That's really what I wanted to talk about this time, because I realized I left that out in my first video. So, here's what happened to me. And different people have different times and things that might have triggered them to pull their hair out, okay? When I was in middle school is probably when it started. There wasn't any like devastating thing that happened in my life. My childhood has been kind of crazy, I'm learning that as I'm talking to my counselor through things in my childhood that I just had. Things would be normal, and then all of a sudden they'd just go extreme craziness, and like my world would flip upside down. So that's but that was all through my childhood. It wasn't specifically when I was in middle school. Actually, when I was in middle school is when things kind of started to calm down a little bit, and kind of went mellow. So it doesn't make any sense, really. Let's see here. Okay, so middle school started out. I had long hair back then, and it seemed like middle school is when girls kind of experimented more with makeup and things like that and stuff. And I never knew anything about doing hair or anything like that. Well, a friend of mine showed me how to braid my hair, and I never knew how to braid because my mom just didn't. She wasn't that kind of mom, I guess. So anyway, that led me to wanting to braid my hair all the time, and of course, like I said, it was much longer, so I'd braid all the way from the top, just braid little strands and stuff like that. And it actually was around that time that people would start doing dreadlocks. Not really dreadlocks, but they would braid their hairs in different strands to kind of like dreadlocks, but I know dreadlocks involves mud and all that stuff, and they really wouldn't get into that. They just do braids, and then they take the rubber bands from like people's braces and stuff, that they're not using. They get extra ones from the orthodontist or something like that, and they use that to tie them off and stuff. Whereas people's hair would be in total braids, right? Okay, so I think that's what started with my fidgeting with my hair. Okay, and then it got worse for two incidences. Okay, one, I got my hair permed, and I would go down to the community college and get my hair done. One perm went drastically, horribly wrong. A bunch of my hair would just fall out. So I'd be sitting here brushing my hair, just pulling my fingers through, and hair would just come out in my hands. Okay, so that was one thing I remember. So maybe that started it. I'm not totally sure exactly when it was that I really started doing it. And then the second thing that might have triggered me wanting to just have my hands in my hair is in 8th grade, my head was itching like crazy. I can't even explain to you how much my head itched. I mean, it was just insane. I just had these insane itches. I'd have my pencils up in there. I wore French braids back then because I got really good at braiding. So I learned how to French braid my own hair. I know, it's crazy. So I'd French braid my hair, and then my hair would just be itching. I'd be in class, put my pencil in there, I'd be itching. I'm like, what is going on? A couple weeks later, while I was at church, I had on a white shirt like this, was praying in Sunday school, saw this little thing on my shirt. What is that? I pull it off, take it to my mom, who's a nurse, handed it to her. I said, this was crawling on me. What is this? She took it to her doctor's office, put it under a microscope. It was head lice. Thank God I wasn't going crazy, because I thought I was going nuts because my head was itching so bad. Now I finally found out why my head was itching so much. So because of that, and the fact that I had the perm and all this stuff and the braids, everything just kind of led to my hands being in my hair all the time. So obviously I got rid of the lice. It's not in my hair anymore. And all that stuff. But and then I just started pulling. Like, the internet started becoming popular. I'm actually from the age that we did not have internet for the longest, and then we got it in our house, and from there led to me pulling my hair while I was at the computer. And my dad's like, one day he was near the computer, he's like, what is all this dirt doing here? And I told him that it wasn't dirt, it was my hair. He didn't believe me. He thought it was just dirt. So he vacuumed it up, no big deal, right? Okay. Fast forward several years, I was getting ready to move out of the house. I had gotten married and was pregnant and getting ready to move out of the house for the first time. Packed all my stuff up and everything like that. Another place I like to pull was when I was in bed. And those of you that have it, that's when you pull a lot, because you're just thinking about all the things that happened today, all the things you got to do tomorrow. all the things that are going to happen like in several months from now, everything that you can possibly think of that you don't really need to be thinking about at that moment in time, but you're always thinking about that stuff, trying to turn your brain off. And in the process, you're pulling your hair out, stressing out. So I would pull my hair out, and I just kind of throw it in the floor behind my bed, because my bed, the wall was like right next to my bed, and I just throw it out, and stuff like that. So anyway, whenever I moved, my parents were cleaning up in my room or something like that, or redecorating. I really don't even remember what it was, but for some reason they moved my bed, and when they moved my bed, they saw all this hair all over it. So they go to vacuum it up. It broke the vacuum. Yes, I'm responsible for breaking a whole entire vacuum cleaner because of my hair that I pulled out of my head. It wasn't until then that they really realized I had a problem. Okay? By that time, I had already been pulling for, let's see how I was 18. I think I probably started pulling around 14 years old. So that was 4 years into me pulling before they finally realized I had a problem. Actually, I was 19 by then. So 5 years. But anyway, so that's basically how all that happened and everything. But there's my little story. But I'll talk to y'all more about all this stuff tomorrow, and I'll let you know how everything goes tomorrow. I don't know if I'm really going anywhere tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think I am. But if I do, I'll let y'all know and let y'all know how things go. And if I think about anything else to talk about tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow too. So I'll talk to you.